Hey, welcome to our episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. This is a pretty big deal beer, or I should say it has pretty big name appeal or whatever. I'm sure you've heard of this beer. But in all my years of doing this show, I've never actually reviewed it. So let's get that done with. All right, so from the world-renowned Founders Brewing, 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗏 Bastard, ale aged in oak bourbon barrels. It's 11% ABV, bottled on July 24th last year. So they say, expect lovely, warm smells of single malt scotch, oaky bourbon barrels, smoke, sweet caramel, and roasted malts, earthy spice, and a scintilla of dark fruit. That's pretty funny. All right, so I pour it into the fancy crystal tulip glass. Coming out of the bottle, yes, it's a bottle. It's kind of like a reddish brown, pretty clear. It probably looks really dark brown in the glass. There it is. It's like a ruby. Actually get a big, kind of beige, maybe even light brown or tan, khaki, frothy foam. Most of it's gone, but it's still hanging around. I'm not surprised on that. Yeah, kind of smells like a Belgian because I'm getting all those dark fruits. So I think it's like cherry, plum, dried fruit, raisin, Yeah, it's almost Belgian-y. It's almost like British, but just without those yeast esters. I'm not getting clove or banana on here. Definitely can smell the bourbon. It has a sweet, liquor smell. Like when I walk into Pat's, the liquor store down the street. I mean, it's a great liquor store, but it's a terrible beer store. It kind of smells like this. It's a sweet smell. Kind of fruity. Probably call it, maybe a little vanilla, but to me, it's really dark fruits and bourbon on the nose. It's not burning, and it doesn't smell like 11%. It smells like something a little less intense. So let's see if it's as intense as it smells or doesn't smell. Cheers. Yeah, I would say the palate matches the aroma. It's a nice, complex but potent nose, and the same thing goes with the taste. It's complex and potent. Yeah, so there's quite a bit going on here. So up front, I'm getting same thing I said on the nose. I would probably call it it's kind of like the dark fruits. I think it's very raisiny. Raisins, date, fig, something like that. So again, kind of Belgian-y, but without no clove, no banana, just without that yeast character. And then as it's cresting, I start to get the actual bourbon and the woody flavor. And then as it finishes and goes down into the aftertaste, I actually get quite a bit of bitterness here. Does it say the IBUs? They used to always put their IBUs. I remember they used to always put the IBUs in the ABV on the neck label there, but I don't see it. Yeah, I would say it has kind of not rum, but definitely kind of a raisiny flavor. I was going to say rum toast raisin, but it's really not the same. The vanilla on this one is a little low, especially compared to KBS and a lot of the bourbon barrel stouts. Although I am getting a bit of a chocolate essence, and I'd say it's kind of more of a milk chocolate. It kind of blends with that natural fruity flavor from those malts there. Yeah, so bitterness it's enough for balance. Whatever hop flavor is in here, I'd probably call it earthy, maybe a little spicy. It's not citrus, it's not pine. It matches that, wee heavy character pretty well. So that's what this beer is. They call it 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗏 Bastard because it's their dirty bastard, which is their Scotch ale or wee heavy. And then you just bourbon barrel age it. Although it gets a ton of ABV off the barrel because I believe the base beer is only 7 or 8%, and this is 11. So I don't know if they brewed a stronger recipe and then age it, or if it really is just, dirty bastard barrel aged. I would say there's a slight nuttiness on this one, especially in the finish, just matching the hop character there. I would not call this beer decadent. In fact, I don't think I would even go as far as say it's rich. It's sweet, yes, but it's not to the extent of Bourbon County or some of the pastry stouts and things like that. It's not really meant to be. Like, this is like a Scotch ale or a wee heavy, which we haven't got to yet for Tuesday Night Beer School, but it definitely has that classic wee heavy, fruity kind of flavor. And they mentioned that there should be like smoke, sweet caramel, roasted malts. I really don't get smoke on this one. So for 11% ABV, you think this would just be like some thick, sticky, chewy body. It's really not. I'd probably say this is only like medium as far as, you know, thickness. It's really not that thick. Carbonation is, I'd probably say on the low side. So I'd probably say like medium body, moderately low CO2. I will say it is very smooth. I'm getting like when I'm drinking it, I can feel that 11% ABV, but it's not like going to my head or my stomach for that matter. It's really, really smooth, sitting really well. Yeah, so I like it. This isn't quite as good as I remember, except like I just checked my Untapped, and the last few times I had this beer, I loved it. And this time that I'm having it, I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's just not amazing. I think I'm going to go, I think it's somewhere between like a 7.5 and an 8. Maybe, I think 8. I think 8 is perfect. I don't really think it's better, at least not this particular bottle. I don't think that it's quite up there with the CBSs, the KBSs, the Bourbon Counties and stuff. But yeah, this is a nice alternative if you're sick to death of imperial stouts, bourbon barrel aged stouts, I should say. You know, try this one. So actually, and it's funny, this is actually 2 nights in a row of a bourbon barrel beer that's not an imperial stout. So yeah, I'm going to say 8 out of 10. By the way, I got this from Christina's dad, I think back in Thanksgiving. So thanks, Mark, for the beer if you're watching. Yeah, so this is really easily available now. But like 10 years ago, this was a white whale. So if you can find this one, I'm sure it's fairly cheap. I would definitely recommend picking it up. All right, so I am rambling. If you watch all the way in, you know you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys Tuesday Night Beer School. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.